Hello, good afternoon. I want to talk about the assignment this week about American women. I've chosen to look at Abigail Adams. Adams was brought up in a scholarly home. Her dad was a minister, and she learned pretty well. She knew history pretty well, the classics. And as a young girl, she had an opportunity to be introduced to some suitors. And she chose John Adams. John Adams was 9 years her senior. He was an aspiring attorney. And she saw that Adams had a future in public life. And this is something that Abigail Adams was interested in. Now, she also understood that, taking care of the family and the home was important too. But she was very ambitious and well read, and she's going to support her husband, John Adams, as John Adams becomes a successful lawyer in Boston. And then he gets involved in the Continental Congress. And you can see he's going to have a career in politics. And Abigail Adams demonstrates throughout her life with John Adams that she's skillful. She can converse, as she did with people like Thomas Jefferson, other members of Congress. And we're very fortunate we have a lot of her letters, letters to her husband, letters to other politicians, letters to Thomas Jefferson. And you can see in Abigail Adams, she has a keen political mind. She's very good at reading people. For instance, she knew that Thomas Jefferson had changed. He was not the same person that her husband knew during the Revolution. When he came back from France, his politics were much different than John Adams and the Federalist Party. And she also knew that Alexander Hamilton was a difficult person, and that he could cause some pain, some problems for her now husband, President, as she called him, Mr. A, John Adams. And she was correct with that assessment. Alexander Hamilton, even though John Adams was his president, a Federalist, he made life hard on John Adams. And Abigail was very successful in running the farm when Adams was abroad, when he was serving as ambassador to England, when he was working on various treaties, Treaty of Paris. Abigail Adams was able to manage the farm and raise these small children. And she had to work with people who were maybe not that respectful towards women. 18th century, women were treated very differently. And she understood that there was a ceiling, so to speak, on what she could do. But she arguably paved her own way, and she did very well in being a soundboard for John Adams, offering him counsel many times. And he realized how capable she was as an entrepreneur, as a manager of a farm, and her political savvy. She was a very talented woman. And it was very interesting. I looked at a few different sources, and I've read about Adams, and I knew a little bit about Abigail, but I learned more from this project. Thank you.